Hello, Darren Schober, physical therapist at Optimum Therapies. Just wanting to talk a little bit about what to expect when you come into our Optimum Therapies concussion program. If you come in, a lot of people come in direct access. They've had an experience, they're having some concussion symptoms, and they want to come in and directly become evaluated. Sometimes you're referred by your primary care provider, sometimes you're referred by your ER doctor. You've gone into the ER, maybe you've had a CT scan after a severe bump. That's all been clear, but you're still having that fogginess, that dizziness, those kind of symptoms. Those are ideal candidates to come in and be evaluated in our concussion program. So what does that entail, concussion program? Oftentimes a good evaluation is going to involve a real thorough musculoskeletal and neurological evaluation. We want to evaluate how your eyes are operating with movement and how you're tracking differently. We're going to do some symptom tests. We're going to do what's called a concussion grading scale. We want to see how you score in your symptoms. We also want to do what's called a post-concussive impact test. It's a cognitive test. We want to check your response cognitively to national normative data to say, where are you at right now? How is your brain? What's the status of your brain in this concussed experience? So by taking all that initial evaluation, we're then able to start to make some recommendations in your recovery to start getting most of the time either back to school or back to work where you're not having those symptoms. And then ultimately we got to get to the level of getting you back to activity. And when it comes back to activity, we're really monitoring you through a graded process of your physical exertion based on your heart rate. So we get you back to activity. At that point in time, we're going to do a follow-up test to see cognitively how things are recovering if you're back into those normative values. And then ultimately, at that point in time, we're signing off for you to be able to return to play or return to sport. Now, that whole process takes several weeks to do, and there's so many people and part of the team that need to be updated and communicated where you're at in your recovery process. Sometimes it's your employer, sometimes it's your school nurse, it's your athletic trainer that you're seeing if you're an athlete. Oftentimes it's your primary care provider right off the bat that we want to have that medical person on board knowing that you've been concussed and that we're following you and we're putting you through a protocol. So that whole process really does take a collaborative approach of communicating where you're at which point in time in your recovery so that we don't push you back too quickly and cause any problems in your recovery. If you or your family member feels as though you need to come in for an evaluation, there's multiple ways you can get access to us. Call our 715-855-0408 number. Identify where you're at. You could be seen in our Rice Lake office or Menominee or Eau Claire offices. You can go through our website, www.optimumtherapies.com. You can schedule an appointment directly through the website. Someone will get back with you. So there's multiple ways, multiple locations, convenience-wise, for you to become evaluated.